Yeah, hi Rajesh, good morning. Any doubts you have? I think some doubt you have. What was the question, 10th one? Yeah, it's a no. Whether it's a some content, some character is there in that variable, or it's a null character, null variable without any value. No, it's not that. Okay. Okay, no problem. Okay. So today we will look into the loops. Okay, so earlier what we say, if statement, the case statements, they were the conditional based statements. Now next what we will see, so now what we are going to see, we are going to see the loops. Okay, how the loops work. Okay, and what are the various kind of loops that are there in your bash. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So we have loops. So basically you will see the loops as for, while and until. Okay, but there is one more loop that is quite useful that normally I use, is called a select loop. Okay, normally you will not much read about select loop, but it's very useful in bash. Okay, that is a select loop. Okay, so mostly we have 4 type of loops in your bash scripting. Okay, so now if I say what is a for loop, so the syntax for loop is specifically for and any variable what you want to define, variable in is the keyword, and range is for which range you want to run that loop, then set of actions and done. Okay, so why do we use a loop? Any idea? Why should a loop be used? No, not array. Okay, so if you want to do a particular task again and again, right? If you want to, let's say, do a particular task, let's say, so you want to take an attendance in a class, right? So let's say if you have 50 students, you have to do the same thing again and again, right? So that's a repetitive task. Or let's say in your real time, if you are working on application development or some kind of management, infrastructure management, so you are doing certain type of tasks, maybe some housekeeping task, monitoring task, right? Health checks, okay? Application start stop tasks, right? So those type of tasks you want to do, but you want to do for, let's say, multiple servers again and again. Okay, so rather than doing it manually for multiple servers, what you can do, you can use a loop to iterate the same thing, and loop will actually do for all the servers whatever you have defined. So that will be the range, that what range you are defining for a particular loop, and in that range it will keep running when we are talking about the for loop. Clear? Okay, so if we first see the simple part of it. Okay, so loops, let's say for loop example.sh. Okay, simple hash. And so let's say I want to print a number from 1 to 10. Okay, so what, either you have to define 10 variables and go ahead and print them, right? Echo 1, echo 2, echo 3, echo 4, echo 5 and echo 10. So you can do that way, you can define parameters, but that is a tedious task. You want to do the same thing again and again, but 10 lines you have to print actually, echo 1 till echo 10. So rather than doing that, what we can do, we can use, I will say, use a loop for, okay, and I want to define a variable. For is the keyword. Now variable can be anything, any name, xyz, whatever name you want. So normally we use I. If you want easy naming, you can use I, J, K. Okay, normally how we used to do in C programming or C++ programming. Okay, but if you don't want that, okay, I is not something meaningful, it's not a meaningful variable, normally use it as, let's say, some number. So I will use a variable here, vnum. Okay, so it's totally up to you what variable you want to use. Okay, vnum. In is again a keyword. Okay, so what I am saying, for any variable, the variable name that I have defined in a particular range. Now if I have to print till 10, okay, if I have to go ahead and print till value 10, so what I will do, I will simply write here as, let's say, 1 separated by space 2 separated by space 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Okay, now then I will say, now if the variable has to do the same type of task whenever the variable value is 1 2 3, so what I will do what action I want to do echo and variable value v underscore num. Okay, so first, when the first loop will run, it will take the vnum as 1, then second will take the number as 2, then 3, then 4, then 5 and so on till 10, and then I will say done. Clear in this code? Okay, it's a very basic one. And now if I go to change mode 755 for loop, okay, for, if I run it, so simply see, it is printing me the 10 numbers. Okay, now what it can do now next, but if you see it here, it's a tedious thing, right? Why I should have print 10 things again and again? Like if I have to do till 100, I have to write till 100, right? That is not a very good thing to do, right? So in such kind of cases, let's say you want to give a range. Okay, so that range when I want to define, so there is an easy way to define a range. If you remember, I showed you how to create a touch file, 10 files at the same time, right? So yes, so same thing can be used here. And I use the curly braces, so same I will use here. Okay, and save it. If I run the loop, so it will do the same task. So now you don't have to manually go ahead and mention that. Clear? Okay. Now with, if you are working with any bash version greater than 4, okay, so there is a unique again feature what I can say in loop. So right now what I did, curly braces 1.10. So what I have given, I have given the range, like starting range and the end range, right? That what would be the starting point and what would be the ending point. Okay, but the same thing, there is an option to do increment by as well. So I say go with 1, start with 1, end with 10, but increment each value by 2. So the first will be, see, so now what it will do, it will not directly print 1 to 10, okay, it will increment by 2, every value it will increment by 2. So what actually it will print, let's see, it will print you the odd numbers. I'm saying increment by 2. You see, it will print me the odd numbers only. Getting? So that means first it will take 1 because the starting point is 1. Then I am saying increment value is 2. So that means 1 plus 2, 3. So it will print 3. Then again it will go ahead and from 3 it will increment by 2. What it will do? It will do 5. Then 7. Then 9. Clear? Okay. So this way you can define a range in a for loop. Okay. So it's not necessary that you just have to go ahead and use the same thing. You don't have to necessarily use the same specific type of sequencing or defining the range. Okay. So it's not necessary that you just define in the same order. Okay. There are other methods also. So not only it will hard code, or let's say you have to define a number, you can define a range based on various different options or the conditions. Okay. Now there is one more option. There is a command called as sequence. Let's say if I say go ahead and write something as sequence. So what it will do, it will actually print me a sequence of variable. Okay. So now what you can do, sequence 1 2. Okay. So there is a command sequence. If you give 1 and then 10, okay, so what it will give, it will define you the range between 1 to 10. So it will print you in sequence wise. Getting it? So this is also doing the same thing what we are doing with the other thing. So now, but this is a command, right? This is a command. This is not directly a specific range that I am defining. Sequence is a command. If you see sequence, you will get a info about sequence, how to print sequence of numbers. Okay. So it is actually a command. Now how can I use command in my range? Okay. How can I use the output of a command in my range? So I will not do it 1 2 3 4, okay, y 4 y, and I will start a new loop here. Okay. But here let's say if I say I will do the same thing, SEQ 1 till 10. Okay. But remember, this is a command. If I directly try to run it, it will fail. Right. So see, it is just taking it as a normal variable. So it is printing SEQ 1 and 10. It is not taking it as a command. Right. So what we have to use, the same thing that we learned earlier, right? That if I want to execute a command, so I have two options. Either I can use a back quotes here. So what it will do, it will first interpret this command and then it will start the for loop. Then it will take it as a range. Whatever is the output of this, that will be the range for this for loop. Clear? So if I run it, now see, it is printing me from 1 to 10 here. Got it? Now, as I told, there was one more option when I was telling the braces. So you also might see some places like this $sign. Okay, so this also you will see in some places. So if you remember the braces, so I told if you want to execute the same thing what the backcodes do, you can put it in a bracket prefixed with a $sign. So it will execute this command and then take it as a range to that particular variable. Clear? If I run it, it will print with the same thing. Okay. Now if you have like done anytime C programming or C++, Java, so there is a normal 3 expressions also, 3 expression type range also, 3 expressions. So now what is this 3 expressions for bash? Okay, so it's something like first mentioned here. So here what we have to do, we have to use double bracket. So if you again see the bracket section, I mentioned these are used for your mathematical evaluations, right? So what it will do, it will first pick up a initializer, then followed by a condition, then followed by the step, or what we say is as increment. Okay, so now how it will look like, if you remember anytime C programming, we used to do like I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, and I plus plus, right? And you have to have the spaces here in the bracket. Okay, so you might have seen this in C programming. Okay, so you can also define a range like this, that is called as 3 expressions. Okay, now if I use it, in the for loop, I will comment out this line. So then you don't have to go ahead with this variable because we are already defining a variable inside that. So what we will do, and here what we will print, because I is the variable inside it, so I will put I here. Clear? Now if I go ahead and save it, so see it is also printing 1 to 10, the same thing. Okay, so 1 to 10 is the same print by the second loop. Okay. Now if let's say you want to have an infinite loop, okay, so what I will do here, infinite loop. So simply again I will come in this loop and this place. So I will just use blank with no conditions, no initializer, no condition, no increment or step. Okay, and save it. If I run it, first loop will run fine, but the second is infinite, so it will keep printing infinite loop. Okay, it will never come out because that condition will never be fulfilled, so it will never be out of that loop. Got it? Any more doubts? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Frederick, you are asking? Yeah. Clear? Okay. Now, so these are various ways to define a range. Okay. So there is no hard and fast rule that you have to define only in this way. Okay. Or see, the same thing I printed in 10 different ways, right? Till 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, right? So you have multiple ways to do that. Okay. So there is no hard and fast rule that okay, I have to use this method only to go ahead and work for it. That will work for me. Okay. Also, now let's say I will not do it here. So let's say I will use one more for loop, but before that, let's say we have seen like how we can use a command, how you can use three expression, how you can use a range, okay, then step range. Now let's say yeah, I have created this file earlier, right? So I have this specific file. Now let's say, can I have something in my range that can read this file and only print me the fruit's name here, not the quantity but the fruit's name. Okay, so is that something possible? What do you think? Okay, so can you tell me how we can print only the fruit name here? So we can use your cut command, right? If you remember, cut command, right? So what I can do, cut -d, I will tell cut -d, and what I have to use, my delimiter is comma, and I am using field 1 from where? From fruits, correct? It will print me only this. Now when I got, right, I have already got my result that okay, I have got the list of my fruits. So now I have my command with me, correct? Now I can use directly this command the same way as I showed you the sequence command, this command in my for loop range as well. Okay, so let me copy this. For, let's say I will say j in, and I will use the backwards in this, right, and I will print equal fruit name is $j. Clear? And if I save it and run it, so see, it is picking me from that specific file. So always, like, fruits are directly define the file here, but always prefer to use it as a variable here. Don't directly use the file name in the loops. So normally what I will do, I will use v file equal to fruits, and normally in this cut command, so that in case I want to change my file name, so I can directly change in one variable and everywhere it will be used $, and I will mention v underscore file and then save it. See, it will do the same thing. Clear? So inside a loop also you can call another loop as well. Okay, so there is no hard and fast rule that only one loop. Like we have nested if else, same way you can have nested for loop. So let's say I will say, just I'm printing for some reason, for let's say I will do, let's say I will pick this one only. Okay, hold on. I will comment this first. Y4Y. Okay, so inside a for you can call another for loop. So now what should be the output of this? What will the output of this come? Can anyone tell? Yes, after each time each fruit is printed, then this particular odd numbers will be printed between 1 to 10. Correct? So now if I just show you, okay, so every fruit it is printing me this particular loop that is inside that. Clear? So you can have any number of nested loops there. Got it? Now let's say, now why I have mentioned it, because now there is a command, two commands that will work in all your loops. Okay, two things that are called as break and continue. Okay, sorry, break and continue. Now what does the break means? Break means, let's say whenever my script is running, right, so it will be looping iteration between the ranges, right, whatever range I have defined, it will be keep running that particular set of actions that I have defined. Okay, so as soon as I put a break there, it will abandon that loop. So let's say here in the second loop, what I will do, as soon as it prints it, I am saying break. Okay, so as soon as I do break and save it, I am doing in the second loop, remember, not the first loop, the parent, not the parent loop, the child loop, and enter here. And if I run it here, see, every time it is printing 1 and then breaking. So as soon as you break, it will come out, because I have two loops, so it is coming out to the first loop and then going to the next part what the first loop wants to do. Clear? Okay, so breaking will break that loop, it will not do the next range value iterations. Okay, so if you are giving 1 to 10 and if you are breaking after 2, so it will only print till 1 and 2, next 8 values will be discarded, it will break from there. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now let's say the same break, if I put it here after the, not in the child for loop but the parent child loop. Okay, so I will paste it here, break, right, in the parent. So I will mention also some line equal parent loop, and here I will mention equal child. Okay, so either you can use the parent loop or the child loop. So I am using now in the parent loop. This break is outside this portion, right? It is outside this, so that is a parent section set of actions, so it is coming here. So now if I go ahead and save it, so what it will do, it will just do for apple and then it will go inside the child loop, print the odd numbers as per range, then it will come out, go to the parent loop, and that's it. It will not go to the next iterations of the range, and it will go to the next set of statements if I have written any. So let's say if I write something after the for loop also, echo I am outside for loop. Okay, save it. You see, it will go and execute the set of statements outside the loop, not inside the loop. If there is any statement, it will go outside the loop also. Clear? Yeah. Yes, 100%. Okay, so let's say here only I will use it. If you get a number or else I will do right. Is it fine? Right. So now if I run it, see, it will print which number is greater than 5, which number is less than 5. Okay. Okay, because here I have not defined to print the number, so it is not printing the numbers. It is only mentioning the line. Here I have defined two things, print the number and print the line also, number greater than 5. So like we have break, same way we have something called as continue. Okay, so continue means it will go to the next iteration of the loop, but it will not do the actions that are written below it. Let's say I will comment it out, and for now I will write something more, echo testing continue statements, and save it. So if I run it, it will say testing continue statements and outside the for loop. Okay, now but let's say if I put a continue here, in place of break I will put continue. Okay, now see, what it will do. Earlier, see, all the continue statements it was printing every time. Now if I run it, see, it has nowhere printed me continue statement. See, it is not printing me anywhere continue statement. They are testing continue statements. Nowhere it will print me, because when you are running continue statements, we are saying go to next iteration. That means leave anything below it and directly go to the next set of iteration range. So it will go to the next range. Clear? Okay, so it will not execute any statements after continue. After continue means between the loop, if it is between the loops. If it is outside the loop, anyways those would be executed. but it is for the loopings. In the looping, if there are any statements that are after continue, that will be skipped. Okay, any doubts? Clear? Okay, so this is how your for loop works. Okay, so this is your for loop. Now if you understand the for loop, other loops are like more easier than your for loops. Okay, so let's see the other loops, that are your while loop and your until loop first. Okay, so what we will see your while loop here. Okay, so there is a difference between while and until, very minor difference, don't get confused. So in while what happens, your keyword while, then your condition. Okay, let's say any set of condition x greater than 10. Okay, then it will do a set of actions and then done. Set of actions. Okay, so until this condition is true, it will keep going inside and doing the set of actions. Okay, until that is true. Whereas now let's see in until what happens. Just a second, let me copy it. So in until, what it will do, it will say it will execute until this condition is not true. Okay, as soon as this condition becomes true, the loop will stop. Okay, so they are vice versa of each other. Okay, so while will be working when this condition is true, and this will be working until this condition is not true. Okay, getting it? Okay, yeah, it's just the vice versa. Once you write the example right, it will be more clear. So let's say I will say while until dot sh. Okay, so first let me write the while loop bin bash. Okay, then what I will do, let's say I define a variable x equal to 10. Okay, now I will use while $x is greater than 5. Okay, do, I'm just now I'm doing to first I will do infinite loop and done. Okay, so this will be infinite because x value will always be 10 in this bash, because I am not changing x value anywhere. So that means x will always be greater than 5. So this condition is not going to fail any time. Correct? So until that condition is not going to fail, this loop will not come out anytime. Okay, so if I go ahead and save it, what? G is greater than equal to. Okay. So if I run it, see this will go into an infinite loop because the value of x is never going to become 5 or less than that, right? So this loop will never end. Getting it? Now if you remember, Now in the same I will show you until. Okay, for now. So 1 2 3 4 y 4y. Until, so until x is greater than equal to 5. Okay, and I will comment this for now. Okay, now if we save it, okay, so this is not running. Okay, this will not run because what I said, until will only run when this will become false. Okay, so x is always greater than equal to 5, right? So as soon as this become true, it will never go inside this. It is just the vice versa. Here when this was becoming true, it was going to infinite loop, whereas in until, when it becomes true, that means the loop will stop there. Got it? No, because it will first check whether the condition satisfies or not. It says okay, this is greater than, so it will not even go inside that. Clear? Any doubts? Okay. Now let's say if I do the same thing opposite here. Hello, your voice is very low, Frederick. Yeah, it's better. Yes. No. Why it will tell? I am not incrementing anywhere, right? Till now I am not showing you how we are incrementing. Okay, I am just defining a hard code value. Even let's say if I do x, so now it will become a false condition. X is not greater than equal to 5. So now this until will become an infinite loop. Okay, now while is not infinite. If I uncomment while and run it, while will not become an infinite because here it will fail. X is not greater than equal to 5. So this loop will not work. Whereas this is failing here. X is greater than 5. This is failing. So that means now it will go inside until loop. Now if I run it, so it will go inside an infinite loop for until now. Got it? So it's totally the vice versa of while. Until is vice versa of while. And here also you can use the same way, break and continue, like we earlier used in your for loop. Okay. Now let's say okay, I am both. Okay, I am having both. Now what I will do, in x equal to 1. So I am saying while should be running when the value should be greater than 5. Okay, so that value greater than 5, when it will happen, let's see. In until, what I will put, let's say equal greater than 5, so it is going into infinite. Okay, so I will use something called the same braces. If you remember, I told you double braces that we can use to increase. So now I will do x equal to, if you remember I told you dollar, and you can use double braces, and inside that what I will use, dollar x plus mathematical operations can be done in these braces, right? So I have, and to store it in a variable value, I have to give dollar again here. Okay, so now it will add that value. Okay, and now I will see, I will mention something here, until infinite loop while infinite. Okay. save it. Let's see what it does. Okay, now if you run it, see, it has only executed 4 times, because the 5th time the x value was what? The x value became 5, and 5 is greater than equal to 5, so that become true. So until loop is stopped at the same specific point. Clear? But see, while, because in the same statement, same set of statements, while was also there, but as I told, the bash will always be executed in sequence. So when it started to execute, that time x value was only 1. So when it started executing this failed. So it never did anything for the while. Okay? Whereas this is the next set of statements where it was actually increasing the set of values here. Clear? Now let's say D4D. So I will cut those lines and put it here now. I will put the while loop here. Okay, I will put while loop here. Okay. Now let's see what happens. See, now it goes into while infinite. Why? Because if you scroll up, it is going so fast. I'm just putting a break here, just to break to show. Okay, so only one execution of infinite loop it will do, and then break the loop. Okay. So see, now what it has done, until was done 4 times, and then the value became 5, x value has become 5. So now when it went to the while loop, what it did, it find that okay, now the x value has become 5, correct? Now when the x value has become 5, it will always be true, because after that I am not decreasing that value, right, or I am doing anything to that value. So now it is going into while infinite loop. Clear? Any questions? I have just used break to just break this infinite loop, else it is so fast that it will not show you this until it will go up. Okay, so if you want to see this, you can see like this. Got it? Yes, so loops are like very special. Let's say right now you have, if you see, you have written a menu script, right? You wrote a menu script. Now that menu script, every time it takes one order and it comes out, right? But I want keep displaying the same value. Okay, keep displaying the same value until a particular condition is met. Okay, so let me show you an example of this. $WQ and come out. Let's say one example. Insert. Anywhere wherever you want to do a repetitive task. Okay, so let's say I was doing echo echo. I will put something as idli. Right, echo dosa echo and then let's say juice. Okay, so this is just printing. So y t. So this is just printing. So it is just printing. Now next thing what we have seen, we can use a case statement, right? Case statement. So what I will do, echo, I will say please enter value. So I will take easy one, I for Italy, D for dosa, J for juice, and I am using Q for quit. Okay. Okay. I am just using that, and I will read a number, read v underscore value. Okay. So I will read this value, right? And then what we were using? We were using a case statement, case $v underscore val in, and first one was I echo value is Italy, D echo value is dosa, and let's say I'm skipping J for now, and I will directly use Q. Okay, echo quitting and exit, and send. Till here is clear. It's the same case what we have learnt. ESAC. Okay, so till now let's see what it will do actually. First, see, it will enter some value and it will just print me, right? But let's say I want to keep displaying this, right? I want that keep displaying it until user don't press Q, right? Don't come out of it, correct? Okay, so in that place what should I do? Okay, so you can think of that. Okay, if you want to do the same repetitive task, right? So what you can do, you can simply use a specific while. Okay, you can use a while statement in that. So what it will do, while example. So in here, after here, what I will do, I will enclose a while here, while $v underscore val not, okay, it's a character, so not equal to Q. Okay, so until this value condition is not true, what it will keep doing? Sorry, I should use it here. TD okay, what you should do, do and exit this, okay, and done. Okay, now if I save it here and if I run it, okay, so see here, now what it is doing, it is asking me value, I will press I, right, it will print, then again see, it has not come out, right, still it is asking me another value, I can press J, still it will not come out. When it will come out? As soon as I press Q here, right? See, quitting and come out, right? So what it is doing, the same set of actions it is looping out, right? It is looping with the same set of actions. Got it? So this way you can use that while statement in various specific places. Any questions? Okay. So it will keep doing it. So you can use while in various places. It's not that only you have to use at any specific place. You can use it in various different type of places. Okay. So while can be used or until. It totally depends on you. While you can use or until. Okay. So if I have to use until here, so what I could have done, just this condition should be reversed. That equal to Q. Okay. So that place the until will work here. Let's say if I show it here, so what I will just do, until, insert until. Okay, so now what I am saying, this value is Q. So until this value doesn't become Q, it will keep running a loop. Okay, and if I save it, it will run the same way. See, D, it will keep running the same way, and Q quitting. Got it? While, yes, but condition has to be reversed. Okay, until will stop as soon as that conditions, while is going to run until that conditions is true, whereas while will keep running until that condition is false. Okay, as soon as the condition becomes true, until will stop, whereas as soon as the condition becomes false, while will stop. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts? Okay. Now we have, yes, yes, no. Continue is just specific to the loops. It is not doing any redirection there actually. It is breaking. See, the break is what break is doing. It is totally breaking the iterations. Okay. It is totally, whereas continue is saying, okay, just go skip the next set of actions, whatever is written in the loop, directly go to the next set of iterations. So if I have given a range from 1 to 5, so when I am doing break, so after 1, if I am doing a break, it will stop and it will not do the iteration for 2, 3, 4 and 5. Whereas when I am doing continue, so I am doing that, okay, after 1 continue is there, so I am saying whatever is written beneath the continue, just stop there and go to the next value, that is 2, and do your iteration. Okay, so that is also useful when you are going ahead and doing a specific set of statements, like what, when you are using if else. Okay, so I am saying if I am checking a condition, I want to break, as soon as this condition is found, just break it there. Okay, so in that place you can simply use your specific break or your continue statements. Okay, now what you can do, you can also read a file from while statement. How? Okay, so read command is there to read any input. Okay, so what we can do, let's say I have this fruits file, right? I want the loop should read that. Okay, the loop should read that, or if you want to do any action item, it should do. So what I will do, simple, I will simply write something called as, so I will show you directly here also. Let's say write vi read file.sh insert hash bin bash. So what I will do, while read is a command that we have seen, the same read command that we use for variable, and line, read line. Okay, then I am saying do, what you should do, print each line, $line, okay, and done. But what should I read? So as you know, there was a redirect sign that we have learned like this. Same way, if I use the reverse of it, it is called as here document. It is called as here document. Okay, now what it will do, it will read a specific file. So let's say I will give fruits, fruit was the name, right? So fruits file. So if I just go ahead and change out 755 read underscore file.sh. okay, so if I run it now, see, it will run your or read your file line by line. What it will do, actually it will read your file line by line. Whichever file you want to read, it will read it line by line. Clear? Right? Yes. Which one? This here document. This is called as here document. If you want to read a set of actions and then execute them, so here we are doing it a file. Okay, now what we can do, let's say I want that, okay, I have to go ahead and do the numbering also, okay, using the while loop. Okay, so what I can simply do, before while I will do n equal to 1, okay, and I will say echo, and I will say echo insert, hold on, insert, okay, first line is $n colon, and it will print the line and this. Okay, so what it will do, it will take n value as 1 and print it. Now next, before going and reading the next line, because it is a loop, so it will read each line. So if I go ahead and do it here, what it is going to do, I am going to extend that n equal to, same way like we did for x, dollar double braces $n plus space 1. So see what I am doing, I am taking a value and I just want to print the line also, what line it is doing a particular action item. Okay, and if I run it now, clear in this code? Any doubt what I am doing here? Save it. If you see, it is saying first line 1 is this, first line 2, so it will print the line numbers. If you want to print it, just a logic that I have added there. Until the last line, or by default it will treat it as by default, so the condition would be until that file is there, it will read that, keep reading that file. No, there is, this increment is just for line. So let's say if you don't want to read this line, you can use, let's say we will use our etc password file or etc host file is there, right? So let's say I will use any file, host, save it and quit. If I run it now, So see, line 1 is this, it is printing whatever is in etc host. Line 2 is this, it is printing whatever is in the host file. Clear? So this is normally quite useful when you are reading it. Okay. So if you want to interpret based on any file, or you want to do any operations based on any file, so you can do in this way as well. Okay. So the same thing you are doing using the for loop also, cat command, and you can do that from the for command also, but here you can use like this. Okay, because it needs a conditions. While has a condition, it is not taking it a range, right? It is taking you a condition. Okay, so this is how your while works. Any doubts? Okay, so next last loop we have, so I will complete it, right? You have time, 10 minutes. Okay, so in select loop what is doing, so select normally no one uses, but if you know it, it is quite useful in various places whenever you want, whatever we were creating the menu, right? That juice and while loop we were using just now. So select will be more better and more friendlier. So what happens, the select keyword, then your variable in your list, whatever is the list of menu items you want. Okay, so select basically is used mostly for menu based scripts if you want to derive. Then do set of actions and done. Okay, now what it will do, if I save it here, so it's not Linux. Okay, so if I just open it, select script dataset. Okay, insert bin bash. Okay, now let's say first I will just simply show you, select, okay, let's say any variable, I will take I in, and you have to just give the list same as you were doing for. Okay, so what I will simply do, what we were doing just now, idli separated by space. So as soon as you separate by space, it will take it as two different values. Idli, dosa, juice, right? Let's say only 3 I will take. Do and whatever, let's say echo $I and done. Clear? This much. Okay, and I will save it. You see, by default it has numbered. I have nowhere mentioned any number here. I never mentioned any number, right? So in select statement, by default whatever range it you will give, automatically it will do the numbering. So you don't need to worry about the numbering part. Okay, how you have to take it and what input you have to give. By default you have to put the input as 1 only or 2. Okay, so if I put 2 here, so by default it will match and interpret 2 is for dosa, 3 is for juice. If I give 3, and see, it's almost like your same thing what I have written just now earlier, this one, where it will never come out of your script. So it's a combination of for and while together. Okay, so if you see it here, it will never come out, right, until I don't control C or I don't have any statement to come out of it. Clear? Okay, so it will keep executing the same set of statements. Now if you see here, it is giving me something this, okay, which is not very good or user friendly. If I say, I will press Ctrl C. Now what is this value? This value in shell is called as $ps3. So shell, this uses a variable as $ps3. Okay, so right now nothing is there, that's why it's giving hash question mark. Okay, so what I can do, in my script, this is only done for select. Okay, so I will just define ps3 equal to something as, just you have to define a variable. It's just like a variable, inbuilt variable which the select will use. So I am defining ps3 equal to enter a choice. Okay, and if I save it here and run it here, you see now it will give you a better user visibility, that okay, you have a better statement that will help user to decide what it wants to do. Got it? So if I just do 3, so it will keep taking me the inputs. Okay, so now let's say if I want to come out of this loop, how can I do it? So what I can do, I can give an option also here. So it's not necessary you have to mention it here. Same way like in for, you are reading a file, you can do a cat file and that also can be used here. It's not mandatory here that do it. So let me show in that way. Let's say I will make a file menu.txt and I will insert as idli dosa juice burger, and last option I will give as quit and save it. So, and if I go to my this statement, and in place of this what I will write, same backports cat menu.txt, save it, right? So if I run it now, see by default it is giving you the number. So if I add anything in the menu text, by default this script don't have to get changed, right? I don't have to change this script. I can just keep changing my menu.txt file and it will, whenever this will run, it will run based on whatever I have written in that particular menu script file. Clear? Okay, so that will be your select loop. So quit still will not work because there is no condition I have defined there. So to use quit as an option, so what I can do in the same loop, I can do where is that okay, and I can do if condition. If my $i is $i is equal to quit, alright, then exit and file. That's it. Okay, so now if I save it here and if I run, so if I take 1, that's fine, 2 is fine, but as soon as I put 5 here, it will quit. You are choosing quit and it will come out. Got it? So see here, you don't have to give these values here, it will automatically map with the numbers. So you have to just pass the, enter the values as the numbers. Any doubts? Yeah, break will not be helpful here. If let's say I break it here, let's see, break, right? Run it and I put 5. Okay, so that will come out of a loop because that is a single loop only, right? If it was a multiple loop, then break will take effect based on that, because this is a single loop. Same thing as I told, in if else normally we can use break, right? So this one will work here, okay, because we have single loop, so it will break that loop. Anything else? Okay. So these are various loops that are normally used in your shell scriptings. Okay. So around this only, all the loops, all the scripts will be around these only. Okay. So if I have shown you the earlier script, the actual script, this one. So I normally prefer to use select one. If you see here, I am using the select loop, and inside select then I am using case, that based on that value it should actually do a set of different action items. See, and here we are using break also. Got it? Okay. So see, this is the PS3 variable that you can define in case you are using a select statement. Which one? This PS3 is a variable. Okay. Any doubts? Okay, so I will stop here for today, and weekend, so I will give you assignment. So most of the assignments now will be loop. Okay, so you can use any loop, it's not mandatory you have to use for or while or select. It's up to you which one you want to use, but I will suggest try like all, try to write 1 1 2 2 with all. Okay, that will be beneficial. Okay, so that were all loops. Okay, so basically in real time you will not use more than this. Okay, other than commands, and this much will be sufficient in real time to work on. Okay, arrays and other thing only real time, until unless you are not doing mathematical operations and something like that, you will not need those. Okay, so that we will cover, don't worry, but just I am telling. Okay, so I will end the meeting today. Thank you, bye. Thank you, bye.